Right, right. So your contention then, what you're saying and saying to me and saying to them, and saying with words, but not just with words, I guess. Let me see if I'm getting this. You feel that in idiosyncratically specific, yet in not altogether dissimilar ways, that you and I, that we are both here, yes, at these particular time and space coordinates, that whole Burroughs thing, sure. Okay, hold on a minute, if I'm reading you right. You're saying to me and to them that yes, we are here, and yes, we are Ballard and Ballard, and that yes, these are chairs and a clipboard, and yes, this is a flimsy cable television show buried deep in the cable 20s. Yes, but more than that, communication, what passes between us, in and of itself, that communication is. I'm sorry. No. Wow. Geez. So this is this. I am here now. This is this.
It's like this, Dr. Ballard. Implicit in all of this is the notion that all transcription systems, even the synthetic simulation of a human speaking voice, or even the more infrequent live utterance.
Soft machines.
Right. That these are inadequate to the multiplicity of meanings that we seek to convey.
Right, right.
And so for us, like for anyone else anywhere, Memphis, Osaka, Vancouver, wherever, whenever, it's a grab bag, bottom line. I mean, my voice gives the illusion of unity to what I say, but in actuality, I'm constantly expressing a whole plenitude, a whole plethora of meanings. Totally. A range of meanings. Yes, and some intended, but others too, of which I am as unaware as you.
There is in all of this an obsession with voice, isn't there? With speech, with language, with utterance. What I'm wondering is, could I have some of your water there? I noticed that you have ice. Well, I do not. If I could just, that would be great.
Now, Doctor, our viewers, I know, demand stricter methods of testing the outsider artist against Dubuffet's art brute. I hear it all the time.
Letters and so forth?
Sure, letters, so forth.
I'll bet they do, yes. Well, I guess they probably would. Well, the point we've reached now, it seems to me, is not one so much of formal originality or some such, but rather one of response to the ambient world moment. Just look at the Pepsi syringe hoax. The old woman and her husband who initiated a national proactive scare. Right there, beautiful. Leaves the Dubuffet camp standing there, sitting there, slack-jawed, arms akimbo. These people, and others like them, responded with novelty within a stylistic continuum to the ambient world moment. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean by the Jungian ideal. Okay. The mimetic virus material is encapsulated remotely, perhaps mechanically, without human initiation even, in unmarked cans of secret Pepsi. Boom! Fear reaches toxic levels. It penetrates, it thrives, it positively blooms in the collective unconscious, free to reemerge wherever it can. It's funny, I tell my students, dreams have always nourished not only the dreamer, but the dream material itself as well. Nightmares, conspiracy theories, fantasies, dreams featuring pieces of Jim Henson or Jim Henson's remains, idyllic reveries like your birds in the puddle, for example. All of these things, it's the same thing, the same thing. Ambient world moment. Ambient world moment.
Lethal, instant, meta-Pepsi.
In this case, it found openings across what? 4 time zones? I mean, a saturation point had clearly been reached.
In 1995, while still living in Kansas City, you published your manifesto of Toxism to inaugurate the exhibition of works by the newly formed Toxis group in Berlin. But your manifesto was never officially recognized by the group itself. I'd like to ask you, Doctor, first off,
Mr. Ballard, for 2 solid years now, we have been poking around in the dark, looking for even the barest hint of a clue as to the location or the whereabouts of this one particular collectively transpersonal intergalactic Lindbergh baby, this random access questing beast. I'll tell you now, the meat of which will be found to contain one of the most lethal neurotoxins you will ever want to assimilate, sir. And frankly, I'm more than a little worried about it. I mean, you know, the old song says, what, all you need is love. I mean, did you know that was the first ever live global satellite feed?
Well, remember that the first ever broadcast television image was of an American dollar sign. I mean, there's your bottom line.
Yeah, neither did I. But I'll tell you, now, in spite of our investigations, which are astounding, I grant you, in and of themselves, in spite of these, I am fresh out of excuses. It's 11th hour. Condition red, as far as I'm concerned. I was just talking about this very problem just last week to Takayuki and his team over there, and Jesus H. Christ in a sidecar. We were getting pretty worried about it.
But why bother? I mean...
How do you mean?
Do you mean to say that a dyspeptic, paralyzed inertia and that toxic meat are 2 such responses to this ambient world moment?
Again?
Do you mean to say that a dyspeptic, paralyzed inertia and a toxic meat?
Yeah, hear me out. It's not just that. The real kick in the pants, I think, is that none of it can be redirected or helped or challenged in any way. There's even less than no chance at all if we proceed along lines laid down according to dogma. There's even less than no chance at all if we go that way. No way. The heroic self, or a coalition of such selves, collapses completely into caricature, into the very expression, I think, of the persevering, industrious, intoxicated, lyrical, rationalist ego that's gotten us into this mess in the first place to begin with. I mean, to this end, and I know this has been said before, but to this end, I think dogma has served us ill.
So, Person Man attends the garbage party less reluctantly than he thinks.
Now you get back to what I was talking about earlier. The backbone of America, then break it. Now follow this through with me. Now, Jung supposed, in his white suit, right, surrounded by his pupils and his students and his analysand mistresses, right, he supposed that there were, or are rather, no new archetypes. Fine. Then, much later,
Joseph Campbell
comes along and suggests to Bill Moyers that the image alone, a photographic image no less, of the whole of planet Earth, floating there, hovering there in the void, that this constitutes a new archetype. Oh, okay. So then what? The collective mind is required to leap collectively to that high ground? I mean, I don't know about you, Mr. Ballard, but I don't even know how a mood ring works. Then Joseph Campbell dies, you see, shrouded in mystery, shrouded in Atlantean mystery, and clutching a scroll in his hand. And do you know what was written on that scroll, Mr. Ballard?
No, I don't.
The words 7 more archetypes. Number 1, the mass-produced object. Number 2, the waste receptacle. Number 3, the advertisement. Number 4, the automobile. Number 5, the remote control. Number 6,
The space alien.
the space alien. And number 7, Jane Mansfield's head.
Jane Mansfield's head.
That's right.
I understand you have the scroll. Did you happen to bring it with you tonight?
No, I don't actually have it with me. I saw it once, though, back east. I do have a clip that I think might shed some light on what we're talking about here that I talked about earlier. If we could just get Pete to run that clip.
No, I don't think
we could just go to that now.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a break right here, and we'll be back right after this word from our affiliates.
Yes.
Coming up next, Dr. Victor Ballard on the popularity. But why don't you just give me rat poison?
What's to eat? What's to drink?
Good food galore.
Quick as a wink.
Beat Kid Gum! A merciful God in every stick!
Simple Click does it all.
The ASAP Group. Thinking globally, acting globally.
So you don't have to. Coming up next, Dr. Victor Ballard on the likelihood of world order.
Pay attention, America. This is advertising. Paid for by the Ad Council.